Hi folks, and Céad Míle Fáilte. If you have been watching my videos, you know that I'm not too happy about the sound of the 1300GS. To me, I think it's too quiet, it lacks character, it doesn't have that grunt that the old 1200 or even the 1250s used to have. So I've been reaching out to companies to see if anyone was willing to send me a test unit for me to review and obviously share my opinions with you guys. And surprisingly enough, a company actually said yes. So the good folks at Black Widow decided to trust me with their test unit. This is a full header replacement for the GS. It's made out of 304 stainless steel, TIG welded by hand, so it's supposed to be a pretty good unit. As you can see, still sealed in the box. I haven't even looked at it yet. Let's go through the installation, check it out, and we'll do obviously a sound check before and after the replacement. See what I think. All right, folks, here we go. So I cut this open already off camera because I know sometimes YouTube doesn't like knives. So just in case, I don't want to get flagged for anything here. But let's have a quick look. Okay. Nice stainless. Ooh, welds are absolutely beautiful. That's perfect. I'm not a good welder myself, but I can definitely appreciate a good weld. You don't have to reprogram or map the bike after the fact. I like this. The pipes are labeled. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. So 1, 2, I think that would be something like that. Let's have a look. This is one of the headers. So that one just now, pretty sure that's the connecting pipe. Well, yeah, there's 3 pieces to it, so yeah, it cannot be anything else. All right, so that's number 2. That is the header on the right-hand side. Flange looking beautiful there as well. Nice welds. That's stainless, it weighs nothing. It's pretty cool. Woo, stickers. Love me some stickers. And actually this lanyard, I do have it as well already because I have had a full Black Widow exhaust on an MT-09 before, a couple of years back. I'll definitely use those stickers. Sorry, Black Widow, you're not getting your stickers back. I'm keeping those. Let's see. Lovely, lovely. You can see that, but you can tell by the heat of the weld how the stainless changes colors. So that's perfect. When you install one of these exhausts, you want to make sure that you clean it up pretty well before the first start so you don't get your digits permanently marked on the exhaust. So what else do we have? Okay, springs, zip ties, and then exhaust paste assembly. All right, that's it. That's all we have on the box. First impression, stainless, very nice, looking pretty good. These are the hooks for the springs to keep everything nice and tidy. So that goes there, that goes there. Easy. You can see it in the camera perfectly well. So that is looking beautiful already. Very light as well. 3 kilos lighter, weighs nothing really. We will replace that chrome exhaust and obviously the black box that is massive at the end, replaced by nothing but a little bit of stainless. Pretty excited. We'll start taking things apart. While the bike is cooling down a little bit because I'm not a huge fan of 3rd-degree burns, I can show you the set of instructions that Black Widow will send you. They're pretty detailed, all color pictures, PDF. You can see there step by step everything that you need to do to take the bike apart and to install the new exhaust. All right, let's get cracking. First of all, time continuity. Obviously I change so I don't destroy my clothes rolling in dirt on the floor. And then safety. Put obviously the bike on the center stand. And I don't know about your 1300, but mine on the center stand is a little bit tippy. I don't know if it is because of the weight on the top box or what. So what I do is I put a piece of wood at the back wheel so it doesn't move, right? Don't know if it's necessary, makes me feel better, so there we go. Now, because we will be disconnecting the servo, the manual tells you to disconnect the battery and make sure obviously that the bike is cold. So let's get cracking. First of all, we need to remove the plastic cover here and remove the back muffler. Let's remove the plastic cover, a couple of T25s. There's these 2 that you can clearly see, and there's one here underneath. I'm trying not to cover the camera as I do this. and you drop it on the floor. Always try to keep the bolts together. These are 3 T25s, same size. Now you can see the valves, they open and close from here. So now we need a T40. So that's loose, leave that hanging for now, and then we need to undo that one underneath. That is a 13. Clamp comes off, and you can finish removing this on top. So that's your T40 on the top, 13 down below, and you can wiggle the exhaust off. There you go. That's your Acra twin pipe titanium. There is, like I said, a little bit of a cone there. What I've done, there's a lot of spot welds, so I draw those out and I weld them back on so they don't leak, obviously. I can show you the cone, but basically at the moment it's completely open. The cone, I don't know if it does much, but there we go, that's it. Next we have 6 T30 underneath the bash plate, which I'll show you how they look in a second. So there you go, this is your bash plate. This is the Enduro version, by the way. So you can see where the holes are, pretty easy to access. The two in the middle are a little bit longer and have these spacers. So bolt from underneath, spacer up to the engine. Next, we need to remove this plastic cover with 3 T27s. There you go. Next, we need to remove the cable for the valve. That valve obviously opens and closes, as you can see there. So you need a 10. They are sitting on this little groove. You just pull them up, make sure that you align the cable to the groove that they have, and they just pop up. Next, you need to locate the O2 sensor on the right hand side. I'll show you exactly what it is. That's your O2 sensor, but we're going to keep that in place for now. What you need to do is disconnect this cable, so follow that up. It is held with a couple of zip ties. It goes in there, and it's this yellow cable there. Let me show you. There you go. So you have to disconnect that. Once you pull that, pull the exhaust, that will come with it. To unclip this, the O2 sensor, you see this tab, you have to lift it up and then you press. For the O2 sensor, you unplug this, but this stays on the bike. This goes with the exhaust. If you turn it around, that's the best way that I had to show you. There's a little bit of a tab there. You press on it and it will release the connector. So that's the only thing that you need to pull out. You don't need to take the plastic cover. I took it out just to show you. Well, problem number one. So this connector is way too big to fit through that. I've been trying to sneak it through there, but it just doesn't fit. I don't think I'll be able to show you very well, but it just doesn't have enough room. And unfortunately, it's going behind that, which I'm guessing is a sensor or something like that, because it's connected to the radiator. So most likely I won't recommend taking that out. I think it's just easy to disconnect that and leave it with the bike. You can even not bother to disconnect that. For the O2 sensor, you need a 22. Undo it. The clips, yes, you definitely need to remove because the cable will spin. So there you go, that's your O2 disconnected. I'll just leave that hanging there. Don't see a problem with that. Next, we need to remove this bolt, which is holding the catalytic converter there. Obviously, the whole header comes together. This is a T50. There you go. On the left-hand side of the bike, we have 3 T27s to remove this plastic cover. All three, same size. Keep them with the cover. That will give us access to the bolt on the other side that holds the box in. Now we have the left-hand side O2 sensor. Again, they tell you to remove the whole thing with the exhaust. It is completely zip tied to the gills, so you can try to follow the wires there. Has a lot of zip ties everywhere, so I'll have to start working on that. It is not in the instructions, so we removed the cover underneath here, but definitely remove the one on top as well. It's only a T27, and then it has a couple of these plugs that connect to the rubber grommets. Take that out and I'll show you. So you see, that is the trace of cables that you have to undo anyways, and there you go. That is your plug. So it's much easier to remove this cover and access it from there. You definitely need to get up close and personal with this plug. It has a little bit of a plastic loop there, which again, I will not be able to show you. You see there, that little hook? So the cable is attached there. So once you get it out, it's the same plastic clip that I showed you before. So you have to put a flat screwdriver, move this little tab there in the middle, and the plug comes off. After that, same of the other side, you pull that back, click, and then you press and it should come undone. Obviously one-handed, almost impossible, but... And this is what I'm talking about with the plug, and on this side it's a little bit easier to show you. So it's quite big and it just doesn't fit. Obviously if I didn't have the engine bars, it would go through just fine, but like that. Same issue as I have on the other side. So I'll definitely leave that in. Same also on the other side, grab your 22, undo your oxygen sensor, and make sure that as you turn it, you don't bound the wire too much. So try to twist it as much as possible. That's it, O2 removed. Again, I'll just leave it hanging there. We're getting closer now. Again, T50. That's gone. At the back of the box, there's one more O2 sensor. That's a 17, and that the manual tells you to leave it with the bike. But so far, I just removed all of them. So, but again, that's it. At the back, as you can see the wrench there. That's where it is, the last O2 sensor at the back. Okay, so now we go out and remove the 3 bolts of the headers. This is something funny. They are actually size 11. Who does 11s? BMW, it's either 10 or 12, but hey, it's 11. So be mindful of that. If you can focus, there you go, 11. Perfect fit. That's crazy. I think it's the first time I use my 11. Anyways, let's take those out. Impossible for me to show you, but for dramatic effects, you can see my wrench turning. So these are the, I said bolts, but no, they're nuts. Next step is to remove the servo motor. For that, again, T27 for the plastic cover. This is where you'll see my heel tech. There you go. Same as the other side, it's just a T27 and these 2 plastic tabs. So if you follow your dangling cables there, you'll find that this is the servo motor that you have to remove, obviously. So this is a T25 here. Attached to it is my ESC eliminator. The one that I have here is a little bit more versatile than the one the Black Widow exhaust sells you, because obviously this one is prepared to work with the servo motor, where the other one is prepared to completely remove it. We undo this clip, press on that little tab, and it gets removed. My ESC, I put it with the Velcro, so take that out. And now we can just go ahead and remove the servo motor altogether. So this is how the ESC works, right? So this is the original plug that goes straight to the servo. The way that it does is, this is coming from the bike, connects to the servo, and then the ESC goes back to the servo. The one that Black Widow sells you, it connects straight to that, and there's nothing more. Okay, so it's only held by this. This goes connected to a pipe underneath there. Very impossible to film that, but basically after that you just wiggle it out This again it's my little bracket that I made for the ESC. So you just pull the two wires and this is it. That is your servo. This is what the bike controls and pulls the two cables, opening and closing out the valves. Here's another step that the instruction don't mention, is that as you can see, this is for the belly pan, this bracket. It goes up to there. You definitely have to undo that. There's no way the headers will come out on that space. On this side, you have to move the brake a little bit to access it. But yeah, I'm assuming that because I do have the bigger belly pan on the off-road version, on the trophy version, that's probably why. So I can confirm they are T40s, and now this thing is almost ready to go. It's almost falling. So I'll try to hold it up. There goes the bracket. That's my T40. And yep, this is out already. Now my foot is in the middle. She wants to. Ah, now the tire is in the middle. Ah, there we go. We got it. Do you think that the one on the left will be a little bit louder? I think so. So obviously we are removing all this madness. This weighs a lot, by the way. They say, I think 6 kilo. Maybe it's because of the size or whatever. Feels maybe like a little bit more. That is the O2 sensor in the back. There's a picture out there that you can see. The two on the front. And of course, the Black Widow that has exactly the same ports. Should connect no problem. You can probably see the valve there. Yes. So when you start the bike, you'll notice that it's louder is because the valve is completely open. Then it will start to close it up as you go, but with the revs up, it goes up. All right, next step is to obviously put the exhaust or the headers together. I've done that already. Fairly easy to fit, especially again if you have the tool. And I know I say again all the time, but there we go. That's fitted, that's the other spring, and this should be ready to go. Installation is the reverse of disassembly, right? Should be fairly simple. This is obviously a lot smaller than the other one. There's a little bit of a metal gasket there on the headers, so you should be okay to reuse those, no problem at all. I'll put a nut there just to hold it in place for now. Don't fully tighten the nuts just yet. Get a couple of turns at least. So the reason why we keep the headers at the front loose is so we can mount the muffler, and the muffler will completely tie in with this, right? You reuse the original clamp, I think. Yep, that is correct. There we go. And now you have to align the exhaust with the nut. At the back of this, there's a moving nut that you can use to adjust. Hopefully you can see that. So make sure that you align that as well. Then T40 at the top. Okay. So you can tighten your T40 now. This clamp, I think we said is a 13. We'll leave it for now there. And I guess now we can go out, tighten our header bolts. Try to get them evenly. Don't crank one bolt all the way in immediately. So it goes even and the gasket has time to seal. The torque on this is not too big. I'll try to find it specifically and put it on the screen. But the way they came loose very easily, they're not too tight anyways. There you go. That's it. Once it stops, it's all there. Now we have to reconnect the O2 sensors. Obviously, because you're going to be tightening them like that, what you can do is twist it beforehand, a couple of turns, put it in, and then it will be much easier to do. And then you have to be fighting the cables that much. Grab your 22. Just snug it. Don't go crazy with that. It doesn't need to be super tight. And then it will be just a matter of zip tying everything back up. Try to follow the same route as before. And I do apologize by the noise if you can hear it from the gate here. It's very windy. We're going through a storm. It's middle of the night outside as well. So we'll see. And if you don't trust me, after work hours, that's the way we do it. I can confirm 0 issues leaving the O2s there. That's the way to do it to me. I'll give you a close up on the O2s. Obviously it goes there. Twist it the wrong way around. A couple of turns. Put it in, and then the cable will untwist itself into the exhaust. So now grab your 22 again. That's it. That's all it needs. So just plug them back in. Make sure that you get them secure. So click and then click with the little locking tab. And then you have those little ribs that connect into the little plastic bracket, which I might be able to show you on this side. Can you see it there? Maybe, just maybe. It's funny because if you can see it, I can't see it because I have the camera in front of me, so let me do it. But you know what I mean. Back O2 sensor, I might need the 2 hands to do it, but you get the point. Twist it the wrong way around, put it in, and then twist it back on. Finally, grab your 17, and same as the others, just get it snug. It doesn't have to be tight. That's it. Ready to go. Don't forget to clean off the exhaust before turning the back on. So a little bit of brake clean. I like to put it in the rag instead of soaking the whole exhaust out. So a little bit there. And just give it a quick wipe. You don't have to go crazy with this. Okay, a little bit of a cleanup. I put the cover back on, the plastic cover. Put a zip tie there where my servo motor used to be. So that's nice and tight. That looks like a little bit of a rat nest, but I will be covered by the plastic cover, so that's all good. The O2 on this side, it's all nice and tidy where it used to be. All zip tied, it goes all underneath. Very difficult to show with the light, but that is all back zip tied and all nice and tidy. I put back the bash plate on. Leave the 2 bolts that hold the bracket for the bash plate at the back, leave them loose, because you need a little bit of flexibility when you set up all the bolts underneath the bash plate. All right, I open the thing a little bit, see, first start, see how it sounds. That's loud, that is very loud. No errors, no leaks on the exhaust, so installations seems to be pretty successful. I'll give the bike a second to warm up a little bit. As you can see, no errors. All seems to be working fine. See how the pipe is turning gold already? That's pretty cool. That's the stainless for you. Let's do a little bit of a non-scientific test here. I have this cheap dB meter to see what kind of values we get when we do test the exhaust. So we'll get, an accurate measurement on what the bike sounds like. Also, I do have the ESC, so exhaust servo eliminator, and for whatever reason, when I say that, I have to look up as thinking of what that means. And that basically what it does is it bypasses the valve. I will try to make the same measurements today and after I replace the exhaust, and try to make it as fair as possible with the comparison on both volume and sound. I will put the microphone on this position and that position. I'm using this bit of a concrete box as a measurement. I'll try to keep the bike on the same position roughly, right? No, it won't be exact, but I will measure it from the end of the box and from here. So let's start the bike and see how it sounds. All right, folks, so you just saw the comparison between the stock headers and the Black Widow headers. Obviously, the Black Widow headers, they sound way louder, a lot more rowdy. Might be too rowdy for my own taste. It's a pretty good, nice sound anyways, right? It's maxing out my little dB meter, so they are pretty loud. But we'll have to give it a try out in the road and see how they sound. For that, this video is getting way too long. The weather's way too crazy, it's getting dark already, so definitely subscribe to see the next video when I take the bike out for a test ride and see how it sounds. Quality wise, especially at this price point, you can't beat them. It's very nice exhaust, the quality of the stainless, the welds and everything, they're perfect. Fit was absolutely perfect, no issues there. The instructions are also quite good. My only caveat there, which I mentioned already in the video, is that the two O2 sensors, just leave them in place. You don't even have to disconnect them. So thanks again to Black Widow for sending me this test unit. I will leave the links below to the website, so you can go out and buy it if you're interested. I'm getting no money. This is no promotion, no sponsors, no anything. I'm just testing it out to give you guys a recommendation. So yeah, I'll see you on the next video when we take the bike for a spin. And until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Thanks.